Some of the local residents we spoke to, the most vulnerable in society who were given houses by the government, say they are worried about the tax areas local officials tell them have been accumulating for years, yet they have no way of being able to pay them, belonging to the first and second categories of the Ubudehe program and in need of assistance just to make ends meet. During the hearing, parliamentarians also raised the issue, with the Minister of Environment expressing concerns over taxes levied on areas suddenly designated as residential, catching local residents with vast plots of land that they were using for subsistence farming off guard and required to pay taxes meant for residential estates they cannot afford. Dr. Jeanne Mujawamariya told us that the issue of vulnerable people living in houses provided for by the government and being asked to pay taxes for them is to be discussed with the relevant authorities.
Ikibazo cy'abantu bubakiwe na leta bagahabwa amazu.
The issue of people given houses by the government, you know that such houses can be passed on from one person to another in cases when a beneficiary progresses enough to be able to afford their own house. But for those still living in those houses and are being asked to pay taxes for the land the houses stand on, I believe we're going to talk to the relevant authorities about it, those in the Ministry of Local Government, as well as our own Rwanda Land Management and Use Authority, and even the Rwanda Revenue Authority, so that we can analyze the situation and see what can be done for those people in the first category whose houses were constructed by the government. And I can assure you that we're going to talk about it as people charged with finding solutions, people of integrity. We are going to find a solution for that problem.
Speaking to the parliamentarians, the minister had reiterated that as long as a given area designated for residential purposes has not yet been availed with the necessary infrastructure, then local residents are not required to pay taxes for their land.
It is true, and I agree with you that as long as land that has seen its purpose changed, but no infrastructure pertaining to that infrastructure has not been availed to local residents, then they should not be required to pay those taxes. And we've issued directives to the districts stressing this after we held a meeting with a parliamentary standing committee that was looking into this and raised the matter. We have forbidden districts from asking those taxes in areas designated for residential purposes that are yet to get that infrastructure.
The General Assembly of the Chamber of Deputies was also reassured that any changes made to the purpose of land in any given area will now require the involvement of ministries and not just district consultative councils, as was the case before, to avoid the sort of major errors that were made in the past, some of which are still being corrected to this day.